Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name's Matthew Quilliam and normally I play the ukulele, but today I've got my bass ukulele out. And this is another part in my ongoing series of bass ukulele videos for ukulele players. So if you've never played a bass of any kind before and you're coming from the ukulele, this is the series of videos for you. Because I'm targeting the lessons and structuring them in such a way that we can relate to the ukulele, something you already know which will help you learn the instrument faster. And if you're intending to play the bass ukulele with other ukulele players, what are the essential things that you might need to know in that scenario as opposed to maybe playing with a guitarist or a pianist, because the instrument you accompany does make a difference. And so hopefully that is the USP, if you like, of these series of videos. I've already done a video about buying your first bass ukulele, and I've done another one where we get to know the names of the strings, how to actually pluck with our fingers, and a few common riffs. And now we're going to learn in this video how to actually accompany other ukulele players, whether it's yourself and you're doing a sort of dual layer recording or playing live with a group. What do you do? Most songs don't actually have bass riffs as such, and instead they'll just be sort of following the chords, making something up as you go along, which means the bass is quite a cool instrument for anyone who likes improvising and creating their own parts to the music. The bass is a support instrument and is not often the focus, which means it's not always doing something particularly flashy or exciting, which means there are loads of really great ways to get into playing bass, just doing nice and simple things to get started that still allow you to join in and play with others. Now, coming from the ukulele perspective, we know that there are certain keys that ukulele songs are more likely to be in, most notably C. If you're playing with a guitarist, they might want to play in G or E or even B, which are, well, E and B, let's just say, they're not exactly ideal to play on a ukulele. We're mostly interested in keys like C, F, G, there is a bit of overlap there, maybe sometimes A or D as well. So there is a bit of a different way of thinking about it, and I'm going to teach you all the important notes and things you need to know when playing in these ukulele friendly keys, so you can play with other ukulele players. We already know the names of the strings. I'm using a 5-string here, but this I'm just going to focus on the 4 strings that you would have on a 4-string bass, which are E, A, D and G. So now we've learnt the names of the strings, let's learn some notes. Well, there are only 7 notes in the whole of the musical alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And as soon as you get to G, it loops back around again to A to go up another octave. So you could have the low A and then a high A, just like a person with a low voice singing and a high person singing. It's the same note, same letter, but just one is low and one is high. It's like you can sing happy birthday, or happy birthday. It's the same tune, so the same notes, but just lower or higher. So I want you to think about the musical scale as this kind of looping idea that goes round and round. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Well, we already know 4 of them, don't we? E, A, D, G. So we've just got to learn a couple more. We've got to learn B, C and F. Now, there's a good way to remember the C if you're coming from a ukulele. If you think about what you have to do a C chord on a ukulele, you take your A string on a ukulele and you put your finger on the 3rd fret. Well, that's exactly what we do on a bass as well. Find your A string. Put a finger on the 3rd fret, and there you have a C. Once again, the A string, not the string closest to the floor on the bass like it is on the ukulele, but an A, nevertheless, an A string on the 3rd fret. You have a C there. And most basses will have a marker either on the front or on the side to show you where that 3rd fret is. And there you go, you have a C note, which is not the same as a chord. A chord is where you play all the strings at once. This is a C note, a very low C note, which you would play like that. What about F then? Well, F, luckily, on a bass is the next door neighbour of C. We're staying on the same fret, the 3rd fret, but this time we're moving across to the D string for an F. C, F. Can you see how they're neighbours? C, F. So as soon as you can find the A string, you can find a C, and then you can find an F. So already, just by using this little hack coming from the ukulele, we found some notes that we can get to very quickly. Okay, we found A, C, D, E, F, G. We've just got B to find now, which is C's neighbour, but on the same string. So there was C. B is on the same string this time, and on the 2nd fret. So again, we found another note from our ukulele reference point. A, B, C, F. And of course then we've got G, D, A, E as well. So now we have all of the notes of the musical alphabet. There are other notes too as well, of course, the sharps and the flats. We're not going to worry about those in today's lesson. Take a second to get used to those notes. Pause the video and play around with that. And when you come back, I'm going to tell you how we can use those. So how do we actually use this information? How do we accompany other ukulele players? Well, we need to know the chords. You can read off a normal ukulele chord sheet, exactly the same one as the ukulele players are using, but still play bass. And that is because you are going to be playing the same letters that appear on a ukulele player's page. For example, say you have the chord progression to Blue Moon, which is C, A minor, F and G7. These chords go round one chord per bar. Well, a ukulele player would obviously know what to do, play a C chord, then an A minor, F, G7. The bass is basically going to ignore everything except the letter at the beginning of each chord name, and they're just going to play that letter as a single note on the bass. So, C chord, while the ukulele players are playing their happy C chord, you're just going to play your C note. And what that's going to do is it's going to provide a sort of foundation to the overall sound and thicken that sound up a bit. And you're just going to do one right at the beginning. So if there's 4 beats in a bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to play the note of the chord on the first beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that, because a bass has got great sustain and it will sustain throughout an entire bar, just unlike a ukulele where you sort of have to keep strumming it. But okay, we've done a C, now we've got A minor. Now you don't actually need to know that it's an A minor at this stage. Of course, if we were a ukulele player, we'd need to know it was A minor. If we played an A, it would sound wrong. If we played an A7, it would sound wrong. It's got to be A minor, because a chord is multiple strings, multiple notes playing at once, and the minor tells us a particular combination of those notes. If you play the wrong one, it's going to sound out of place. On the bass, we're only playing a single string, so all we need to know is the A, and then it doesn't matter what the ukulele players are going to do. As long as we've got our A, we're sorted. So we go A, 2, 3, 4. So far it's C, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4. What comes next? F, 2, 3, 4. So again, that's just a normal F there. And then G7. Again, we don't need to worry about the 7 at this stage at all. Just play a nice easy G, 2, 3, 4. And now you've got your 4 notes that you can use to underpin this whole progression. So let's do a quick play along. 4 beats of C, 4 beats of A, 4 beats of F, 4 beats of G. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. F, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3. And again, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. F, 2, 3, 4. G, 2. One more time. 4. C, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. F, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. And hopefully you could hear as well as I was playing, I was letting the notes, especially the ones I was fretting, ring out. You don't want to go C and then stop it. You want C, A, let the space happen. F, nice long notes. G, keep the finger down. Don't let it escape. Okay. All right. So if you had a load of ukulele players going C, A minor, F, G7, you could do exactly what you just did there, and it would make a world of difference. Suddenly you'd have this lower rumble at the bottom, this undercurrent, this foundation to the music that provides a whole new feeling and meaning to it. And yet all you did was one note per bar. So there's a lot of space in there, but you've already done a great job. And to be honest, that's kind of all you need to know from a theoretical point of view. If you're at a ukulele jam, you're the bass player, you see these chords, just play the first note. You could change the rhythm up a bit if you got more confident. You could maybe do 2 beats per bar. So on beats 1 and 3, you go C, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, A, 4, F, 2, F, 4, G, 2, G, or even 4 beats per bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4. It almost doesn't matter what you do with your right hand, as long as you get those foundation notes in there. You can provide adequate accompaniment to any ukulele player, just as long as you play those single notes. There is, however, one complication with this method, and that is when we start to talk about sharps and flats. So, as I said, whenever you see a chord name, look at the first letter. It doesn't matter what comes after it. All you need is the letter. Except when it comes to sharps and flats. Because if you've got this really long, complicated chord name, it's easy to just discard everything that comes after the C and think, oh yeah, that's just a C. However, if you see the hash sign, that is telling you that it's actually a C sharp. And likewise, if you see a flat sign, which is a sort of squashed B, don't let that get lost in translation. Don't lose sight of the sharps and the flats amongst all the other gumph that comes after it. Normally in the world of ukulele, this isn't too much of a problem. We don't often see these really long, complicated names, but they do crop up, so it's worth pointing out. Now, a C and a C sharp are not the same note. A G and a G flat are not the same note. So how do we know where to play those notes as well? Well, like I said earlier, there are only 7 main notes in the music alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All the sharps and flats are considered extra notes in between those notes. So they're there if we want them, but they don't have enough importance to warrant their own name. It's not like they went A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. We've got the main 7 and a few extra ones added in between if we want to use them. And there's a pretty simple system of understanding sharps and flats. Something that's sharp will go up, and something that's flat will go down. If you want a way to remember this, a flat is like a flat tyre. Flat tyre, car goes down. Sunk on the wheel. A sharp, if you think about a pencil, a sort of sharp pointy end of a pencil pointing upwards, sharp going up. That's how you remember sharp. So flat goes down, sharp goes up. So if you saw this C sharp, all you would do is play a C and then raise it by 1 fret. So we've gone from the 3rd fret to the 4th fret, and that's a C sharp, C, C sharp, C, C sharp. So here comes that C sharp blah 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 chord, go straight to the 4th fret, there's your C sharp. Similarly, if we have a flat, for example B flat, let's find a B first of all. What do? It goes down in pitch specifically, so we move it from the 2nd fret to the 1st fret. These extra notes are collectively known as accidentals, and they are the black notes on a piano. You can see the white notes are the main notes, with the black squeezing in between most, but not all, of the white notes. There are some white notes that don't have black notes in between them. However, when we come to a stringed instrument, just by looking, there's no immediate way to tell us which are the equivalent white notes and black notes, which is why we've got to really think about how we approach sharps and flats. So if you have a song with a flat or a sharp in, it's worth taking just 10 seconds to skim over the song. Oh look, there's a sharp. Where can I find that sharp on here? Find the normal, the natural version, and then remember to raise it by that fret. That's all the prep you have to do. Then you're ready to go through the song, and the sharp or the flat comes up. Oh yeah, I'm on that 4th fret. Or oh yeah, I'm on that 1st fret, rather than playing the natural notes. It will sound a bit funny if you don't. Now with that knowledge, you should be able to play almost any chord that comes up just by playing the root note, that single note, to provide that musical foundation. So you get a chord progression with any of the natural notes, or even if there's a few sharps or flats in there as well. As long as you just play some rhythmic idea using those single notes, one per chord, then you should be okay. And that's more than enough bass accompaniment that you need to provide. That's a kind of like jam survivor's kit, if you like, giving you all the basic ingredients that you need to survive at the jam. There are, of course, loads of extra things we can put on top of this, but we're going to look at that in another video. So, make sure you're subscribed to catch the rest of that, and if you need to rewatch any parts of this video as well for a bit of a play along or whatever, or slow it down using the cog icon in the bottom corner, please feel free. Otherwise, make sure you're subscribed to catch the next episode, give this video a like, and I'll see you over there. In the meantime, why not check out this video here, which is just like this one. Go on.